All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. I do just want to start out in terms of the time frame that we've had to work with. Received a letter around the 10th of October. I got briefed on this around the 16th of October. So over those 12 days, we've been working on multiple strategies to help families and help individuals who are not going to have the SNAP benefit on November 1st. So today I'm going to go into detail on that. There's still work that we're doing that has to do with a large portion of SNAP beneficiaries, and we're still working on that. So it's unfinished, there's a certain amount of unfinished business here that we're still working on a short time frame. So good afternoon. I want to thank Rhode Island Community Food Bank for hosting us here today. I've stood at this podium many times to advocate for what's best for Rhode Islanders, but I've never had such an urgent and troubling message than I do today. More than 100,000 people in our state are at risk of going hungry on November 1st. That's because President Trump and congressional Republicans are playing games with the basic needs of our residents. First, they decided to put health coverage further out of reach for many people who need it most. Now, rather than addressing the glaring need, that same leadership has doubled down and decided to send children to bed hungry. Our children. SNAP benefits feed more than 145,000 Rhode Islanders every month. The cost is $29 million a month. Money, by the way, that Rhode Islanders have already paid to the federal government to create a safety net for our neighbors. And the USDA has billions of dollars in contingency funds for such an emergency. And they're not sharing those dollars with the states. It's unbelievable. It's clearly unbelievable. But that's where we are. It's the Trump's administration version of let them eat cake, and it's cruel. For several weeks, my team has been working on potential initiatives to keep food on Rhode Island tables. That includes issuing an executive order declaring a state of emergency for Rhode Island. A state of emergency because of the dangers of health, safety, and resources. Dangers caused by the absence of federal SNAP benefits. The executive order that I am issuing today allows the state to provide emergency assistance to SNAP recipients. We're doing everything we can to prioritize the nutritional needs of Rhode Island families and children. My Department of Human Services and my budget office have worked together to identify up to $6 million from the Federal Temporary Assistance for Needy Families program to help the more than 20,000 eligible families with children and help them weather this difficult time. Like anyone who receives SNAP, those TANF eligible families get SNAP funds every month automatically on their EBT cards. For these eligible families, during the first half of November, We're going to load those EBT cards with the equivalent of half of what they would normally get in SNAP benefits. We'll make an initial payment of $3 million on November 1st and another $3 million on November 15th if we still need it. But you need to understand, while this money can be used to buy food, it is TANF money, not SNAP money. The TANF money should reach 65,000 individuals. I'm deeply concerned about the other Rhode Islanders who should be receiving SNAP benefits. Do the math. 65,000 families, people in families, 145,000 people receiving benefit. 80,000 people we still are struggling to find a path for. We are still looking at options to direct support to those individuals. Unfortunately, the federal government is making it harder than it should be to help. So while we're continuing to pursue other options, we must prepare for the possibility that 80,000 Rhode Islanders may have to rely exclusively on food pantries and other nonprofit efforts. To support those food pantries, we're directing $200,000 in emergency funds to the Rhode Island Community Food Bank, which distributes to organizations and local food pantries around the state. But that's not all. True to form, the Rhode Island Foundation is once again mobilizing generosity and has agreed to match the $200,000. President and CEO David Cicilline is here with us today. That $200,000 match is part of a much larger Rhode Island Foundation initiative. They're committing $1 million in grants to nonprofits helping with the SNAP crisis. I thank publicly the Rhode Island Foundation and stepping up once again, and David taking my call a few days ago and putting this together so quickly. So David, thank you so much. We're so lucky to live in a community of caring individuals and businesses who are stepping up to fill the funding gap. I would like to give a shout out to the Rhode Island AFL-CIO for donating $10,000 as well as time and effort to help with the food distribution. Their president, Pat Crowley, is here today. Pat, thank you for setting the example of what we're going to need to do as a state to make sure that we're covering the need that President Trump is failing to cover. I'd also like to thank our municipal leaders across the state, represented here by Mayor De Silva from East Providence, the president of the Rhode Island League and Cities and Towns. They were one of the first groups that I called together early on a Monday morning to understand that all of this problem is going to head to the local communities, and to have local support is good. David, now we can give you a round of applause. So, Mayor, thank you, and thank you for representing all the cities and towns that I know are going to need to play a major role. They will be working on a grassroots level to help connect SNAP beneficiaries to resources. More news, the Elijah Project will also be active in the community and helping distribute food. I talked to George there, just connected him just a few days ago, and as I started this, putting all this together in such a short period of time is really a credit to everyone who's stepping up. So the Elijah Project is doing what they did during COVID. They're already hard at work to assemble grocery bags for the communities. More details will be available on our new landing page just launched, snapsupport.ri.gov. snapsupport.ri.gov. We're extremely grateful for all our partners who are stepping up in this uncertainty. Speaking of stepping up, I'm asking any Rhode Islander who can afford to help to do so by donating to the Rhode Island Foundation. There is an easy link on their webpage to give, RI Foundation/food. This is not a typical Thanksgiving drive or holiday drive. This is a now drive. The urgency is real. And again, I would say that President Trump had the ability, outside of the budget, to appropriate the dollars so that we would not be here today. Another great partner in this response is United Way of Rhode Island. And if the shutdown continues into November, United Way of Rhode Island will be organizing a giving campaign to further support the Rhode Island Foundation's effort. Now a message to the people of you are a SNAP recipient listening to this press conference, and you need help connecting to your local food bank or other resources, please call United Way 211 for help. That's 211, and that's United Way stepping up again. Courtney, thank you. I also want to commend Melissa and the Rhode Island Community Food Bank. I met Melissa in my office just a few days ago. I don't think that she expected this when she came from out of state. But she's ready, and we notice she's up to the task. They have been essential in this emergency response, and their dedication and hard work is a tribute to the decades of work that they have provided to the state of Rhode Island, and it's not surprising that they're stepping up again. So thank you, Melissa. And with that, I'd like to introduce our Lieutenant Governor Matos for her comments as well. Thank you for being here today.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Governor, for your rapid response to this emergency that we're facing right now. And thank you, Mayor Da Silva, for being here and your leadership at this East Providence, but also through the League and Cities in Town. And we also have with us right now Treasurer Diosa. Thank you so much for being here. This is a moment in which we need all hands on deck, and everyone is ready to serve. But thank you to the responder, Governor McKee, for acting quickly. Thank you for the community organizations that are here that step up, the Rhode Island Food Bank, the Rhode Island Foundation, the AFL-CIO, United Way, and so many other partners that are still coming in. The common wave of hunger that will hit our state is preventable, but this administration has chosen to let seniors and children go hungry. The USDA could release emergency SNAP funding tomorrow. They chose not to. They would rather point fingers and throw a temper tantrum than step up and do their job. This outcoming hunger wave is a disaster like any hurricane, any storm that could leave people in need. And this disaster, as in the past, would prove two things. First is that this federal government is broken and that no one is coming to save us. The only way we can guarantee that Rhode Islanders get food on their tables is for us to take action right here at the state level. The rapid response that Governor McKee is doing is a great example of what government can do to help its citizens. If the SNAP benefits came back tomorrow, we will still be in the midst of an affordability crisis fueled by President Trump's reckless tariff. Our state government can take actions to fight against the crushing cost of feeding families, and I will continue to champion to do that work. I was just here last week, a meeting with Melissa and her team, talking about the work that we have been doing to address food insecurity in our community. And I was just with the Elisha Project on Saturday as they were giving out food. But the second thing that we're learning from this crisis is that, like in any other disaster, Rhode Islanders always step up to help their neighbors. Today, Governor McKee and the nonprofit partners that are here are giving the example. And I know that we can count on our citizens, every citizen in the state of Rhode Island, and businesses to band together to help their neighbors to be safe. If you can, please support the Rhode Island Food Bank at this time. Please support your local grocery store. The SNAP program is very critical to them. Walmart will still be here after this crisis is over, but your local neighborhood grocery store might not, unless we help them. This is a time in which Rhode Island can band together to support each other. And through this chaos in Washington, we can be united and came through this stronger than ever. Thank you. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Mayor Da Silva, who is also the chair of the League of Citizens Town. Okay.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. Thank you, Governor, for your leadership on this issue. It's an absolute honor to be here with some great nonprofits who are collaborating now with our local and state government to take care of our residents. I want to recognize, of course, Melissa Cherney, the CEO of Rhode Island Food Bank, Congressman David Cicilline, President and CEO of the Rhode Island Foundation, Patrick Crowley, another organization, the people in labor are out here supporting us. They understand the importance of this. Courtney Nicolato, the President and CEO of United Way of Rhode Island, Director Kimberly Marola of the Department of Human Services, and of course my dear friend and the Director of the Rhode Island League of Cities and Towns, Randy Rossi, is here with us, and a very important partner in government, General Treasurer James Diosa, is here with us also. Thank you, sir. In just a matter of days, thousands of Rhode Islanders across every corner of our state will lose food aid benefits, having a real impact on all of our neighbors. As this government shutdown continues, it is apparent that we need to come together to support our communities, making sure that all municipalities are on the same page and prepared to support those who call Rhode Island home. As President of the Rhode Island League of Cities and Towns, our municipalities are united in the knowledge that we need to play a prominent role in making sure that we are distributing information to the public, not only about where they can go to get help facing the food insecurity, but how our communities can come together as one to give back. In East Providence, after the call that the governor put on, he organized through the league all of the municipal leaders to come together on a call and gave us this grim news. Immediately, Randy and myself started organizing the local leaders to come together and prepare to deal with this situation that we're all facing now. In East Providence, we have collaborated with local nonprofit organizations such as Feed Our Eye, Good Neighbors, East Bay Community Action Program, the East Providence School District, Hope and Faith Drive, the Elijah Project, and the St. Francis Xavier Parish to create a citywide food drive. Because now more than ever, our residents who rely on SNAP need our help to come together as a community. We ask all of us to keep those in our community who are in need in their thoughts, and to make those donations, if you're able to the Rhode Island Foundation and to these other worthy organizations that are going to be helping our residents. And now it gives me great pleasure to introduce our host and CEO of the Rhode Island Community Food Bank, Melissa Cherney.
Well, thank you, Mayor. Governor, Lieutenant Governor, Mayor, Director, Courtney, Patrick, and David, thank you and all of the members of your team that are here today. And on behalf of our team, welcome to the Rhode Island Community Food Bank. As you've heard me say before, we are in a crisis. And I am so appreciative and thankful that a couple of weeks ago, we have been getting together trying to figure out how we are going to respond to this crisis. So thank you all for that. And thank you to all of our community members who have stepped up and donated so far. And I do want to take this moment to give a special shout out to the Rhode Island Community Food Bank team and to the 137 food pantries and meal sites all across this state who every single day are making sure that our neighbors get served and fed. They are the heart and soul of this work, and they step up every day, but especially at this moment, they're giving their all. The numbers bear repeating. Starting on this Saturday, 143,000 Rhode Islanders will not receive their SNAP benefits. And that's in addition to the 26,000 federal workers who are going without a paycheck right now. The loss equates to $29 million in food assistance in November alone. That's $29 million that will not be spent at our local grocery stores and markets. Right now, this warehouse is housing about 730,000 pounds of food. This will last us about 2 weeks. We can hold over 2 million pounds of food. So we have the capacity to bring in more food and distribute more food, and our goal is to fill it. I will say, if you need help, please visit our website and find the local food pantries all across the state that can help you out. If you can give help, donate food and funds. Donate food to your local food pantry, and you can donate funds to the Rhode Island Food Bank, where we can use our purchasing power to buy in bulk and fill our shelves. We need everyone right now. This is all hands on deck. And I will tell you, in my short 12 weeks here in Rhode Island, I have seen the power of community. And I am so heartened to see everyone come together to make a difference to ensure that no neighbor is left without. This is going to hit all of us in some way, whether you're a SNAP recipient or not. So please consider doing whatever you can. Together, we can send a message to our neighbors that they are never alone and we are here. It is now my privilege to introduce from the Rhode Island Foundation, David Cicilline.
Thank you, Melissa. Thank you very much. I want to thank the governor and all the state officials that are here, the cities and towns, and of course our philanthropic partners for all joining together to respond to this urgent moment. And make no mistake about it, this is a crisis. Hunger is always looming for too many of our neighbors, but this is really unprecedented. The safety net that so many Rhode Islanders depend on to feed their families is on the verge of disappearing. And as Rhode Islanders face hunger due to Washington's suspension of SNAP benefits, the Rhode Island Foundation will be awarding $1 million in new emergency grants to help feed people until the federal funding is restored. We'll send $200,000 to the Rhode Island Community Food Bank immediately to help ramp up the food supply to its network of more than 100 food pantries and meal sites. And we'll distribute the remaining $800,000 directly to nonprofits through our Community Partner Resilience Fund. And this is what your community foundation does. We have a pipeline of CAP agencies, food pantries, meal sites, and anchor organizations whose work on hunger we already support, and we will continue to do so. We'll begin making grants to nonprofit agencies that can get food into the hands of people quickly and efficiently as soon as we possibly can. But everyone should understand state government and the philanthropic sector can't fill the gap alone. And so what I'm also asking Rhode Islanders to do is help us keep food on the table for all of our neighbors all across this state. My hope is that the generosity of the public and of our donors will generate another $1 million to match the announcement we're making today, so that we will have $2 million to support our neighbors all throughout our state who are going to be hungry. So please consider donating to RhodeIslandFoundation.org/food. It's right on our website already. This will allow us to be sure that we're doing all we can as a state. Everyone has a role to play, all to do our part to make sure we can respond to this moment. I want to end where I began again, thanking the governor for bringing us together for this effort. And now I have the great privilege of introducing Patrick Crowley, the president of the Rhode Island AFL-CIO.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Governor McKee, Lieutenant Governor Matos, Mayor De Silva, and all my friends in the philanthropic community and government, and for everyone else for being here today. You know, in the labor movement, we have a saying. It goes like this. It says, an injury to one is an injury to all. And that's why the 80,000 members of the Rhode Island AFL-CIO are ready to make sure our neighbors across the entire state have access to the food that they need to feed their families. So that's why, Melissa, I do have that check for $10,000 for you right here that the governor mentioned earlier today. But I want to challenge every other organization across the state, whether they're labor organizations, business organizations, or what have you. Do better than us. Don't let us set the standard. Surpass us. Because this is really going to take, like you've heard every speaker say, an all-hands-on-deck approach. But the labor movement is not done there. We've already established over a dozen drop-off sites for our members to bring food to their neighbors. And if all the union members across the state, all 80,000 of us, want to find out where those locations are, you can go to RhodeIslandAFL-CIO.org/SnapShutdown to find out where your union hall is available closest to you to bring food. Our union siblings in the Teamsters Union are also ready to be activated to help distribute and collect food to the appropriate locations everywhere across Rhode Island. But let's be clear. This crisis is manufactured. This crisis is because President Trump and his Republican supporters in Congress are looking to hurt Rhode Islanders. There's no other way to say it. Because I don't know about you, but if I had a choice between building a ballroom and putting food in the bellies of hungry children, that's no choice at all. It's the latter every single day of the week. So let's get to work. Let's get out there and raise the money. Let's collect the food. And let's show Washington that Rhode Island runs on solidarity. Thank you. It is now my pleasure to introduce my good friend and the President and CEO of the United Way of Rhode Island, Courtney Nicolato.
Thank you, Patrick, and thank you, Governor, for your leadership, and for everyone for being here. For 99 years, the United Way of Rhode Island has stood with families across our state, helping them when and how they need it most, and this moment is no exception. Right now, Rhode Island families are facing what we call a perfect storm, and it's unacceptable. Wages have not kept pace with the rising cost of living. Health insurance premiums are skyrocketing, and now SNAP benefits, the very resource that keeps food on the table for thousands, is being stripped away. This is not only a crisis for individual families, it is a crisis for our entire economy and for the future of our state. United Way and our 211 system exist for moments exactly like this, and we are responding with urgency and determination. We have seen already a 40% increase in calls to 211 into our Aging and Disabilities Resource Center. Our 211 Help Center, available 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, and in more than 200 different languages, is expanding operations to meet the growing demand. We are also enhancing our access to in-person support at our 50 Valley Street location in Providence, as well as our mobile outreach that goes to 55 different locations each month, and our partner sites statewide. Our mobile RV is also going to federal location sites at the moment. In addition, we're activating our robust network of community, labor, and over 300 corporate partners. And so far, we have secured over 40 food collection stations across Rhode Island to support local hunger relief programs. Sites include labor union halls, as you heard, all branches of Centerville banks, and all Blue Cross Blue Shield of Rhode Island Blue stores across the state, to name a few. You can also drop off food at United Way's headquarters on 50 Valley Street in the Oneyville neighborhood of Providence. You can learn more about our various sites that we have initiated by going to our website, unitedwayri.org. We are also exploring the possibility of creating a special statewide day of giving. I say a 401 Gives Day Light version, a coordinated effort to harness the power of philanthropy and give Rhode Islanders a central way to donate directly to food banks, food pantries, and other organizations providing emergency food assistance. More to that in the days to come. This is what we do. This is what United Way is done for 99 years, and we will continue to do. When times are tough, Rhode Islanders come together, and we look out for one another, and that makes me proud to be a Rhode Islander, and you should be too. So today, I am asking for your help. We need to get these shelves stocked. We need to spread the word. We need you to donate. And we need you to visit our website. We need you to drop off food. Every act of generosity, no matter how small, will make a difference for someone who needs it right this moment. Rhode Islanders are strong. There's no question about it, and we care for one another. And together, we can ensure that no family is left behind, because united is the only way forward, and I have all the faith in our community. Thank you so much. And I will turn it over. You know, we're so fortunate and lucky here in Rhode Island to have a director of our Department of Health, Human Services who is deeply committed to Rhode Islanders, and it's a pleasure to work with. I'll ask Director Kim Brito to join us.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here as we come together and address the federal shutdown, its impact on Rhode Islanders and on our SNAP recipients. Thank you to the governor and to the leaders that are assembled here today and everybody in the room that really is showing that we do come together and unite, and will be here to support our individuals and our families in Rhode Island. It's been said, but I'm going to close us and repeat a few pieces, but we do have approximately 140,000 SNAP recipients. The funding and operations of this program in Rhode Island for the month cost $29 million, funds that will not be available in just a few short days. The Department of Human Services is actively working with Governor McKee on these very important interim measures that we announced today, as well as the Rhode Island Food Bank, our Elijah Project, 211 Community Partners, and the entirety of the DHS agency to support Rhode Islanders in need during this moment of uncertainty. As the governor announced, the state is implementing 3 immediate actions to help bridge the gap. First, beginning November 1st, SNAP-eligible households with children and dependents will receive 25% of their monthly SNAP benefit, again on November 1st, and another 25% on November 16th, for a total of 50% of their usual monthly allotment. These payments will be automatically loaded onto the existing EBT cards. Second, there will be an emergency investment in the Rhode Island Community Food Bank, allowing the food bank to purchase food in bulk and strengthen the local pantry network statewide. And third, a partnership with the Elijah Project will deliver pre-bagged groceries through trusted community organizations. We'll be targeting Providence and Central Falls, ensuring that families in the most affected areas can have access to food quickly and safely. I do want to note that 211 is an excellent partner. They will be continuing to assist us with community support, helping troubleshoot issues, provide information on where and how to locate critical resources, food pantries, application assistance or guidance, and more. This important work takes place both over the phone and often on-site with DHS as well. We recognize that this still will be challenging for Rhode Islanders on SNAP. However, these steps should be able to offset some of the challenges faced from receiving no federal benefits. These actions rely on existing allowable funding sources and established partnerships we have in place, which allows us to move quickly and responsively. Our teams are coordinating closely with community partners to ensure that distribution is safe, equitable, and accessible to all Rhode Islanders. I want to take a moment to recognize the DHS staff in offices, our call centers, and behind the scenes who have been preparing for this moment with professionalism and compassion. They will continue to keep our offices open, serve customers, and share information with calm and care. As we have shown before, during the pandemic, through recovery, and now again, Rhode Island knows how to pull together in challenging times. We are rising to meet the moments of uncertainty together. A reminder to those listening, for anyone seeking help, DHS remains open and continues to accept new applications and updates to cases so that benefits can be activated as soon as federal funding resumes. Visitors to our office may see increased security and higher traffic, but our teams are ready and equipped to help. I realize the amount of information that DHS has been sharing can be confusing, and that is why I would highly encourage people to please stay informed, open all the mail that DHS sends, keep your information up to date, and visit the snapsupport.ri.gov for accurate updates and resources. Please keep your scheduled interviews and remember that the new federal eligibility rules go into place November 1st. Thank you to our partners, to our staff, and every Rhode Islander who continues to show compassion and care for our neighbors. Together we will serve, or together we will continue to serve with strength, with empathy, and with resilience. So thank you very much.